Greetings to all discgolf fans all over Europe and the world. Welcome to watching the Estonian Doubles Championship of 2021. They were played in Järta and Järvakandi, Estonia, and we're going to watch the third round of MPO. And we're going to straight move on to the couples, let's say. Rasmus Metsamaa and Kristo Vaikmaa are in the lead with 8 down after 2 rounds, and there's nothing to say. They have a healthy lead going to the final round. In front of these guys, Koni and Loim, they're going to play a little bit, trying to decide who is on top and who is going to be the one who is going to carry the team, and it's going to be silver. And the third couple, Asko Krais and Jüri Karus, with 5 down, not so far away, but since the third round is being played with best shots, the 3 strokes is kind of big difference. So we're going to start off with hole number 1, 290 meters, and you can see it's very straightforward. Just use all your power and try to get on this small hill, and yeah, that's it. Just take your tree and move on. And here we have Kristo making the first draw, and first draw is already a crush. We can see that this landing is somewhere around 140, 150. It's around 400 feet, and this gave the chance to Rasmus to just blast with all his might and see where he's going to get. And there we go. Yeah, that actually looks even further. Not by much, but further. So the second couple is Silver Koni. And yeah, I want to talk about this course. Is like you can see from the picture that it's really well maintained, and we had an OB on the left side, which is going to protect the 18th of hole, which you're going to see on the back 9. Sadly today I'm going to commentating alone, and already on the last couple, Jüri also tried to play it safe. It was around 80 meters. He came on to throw so fast, our catch cam just didn't manage to get it. And also Asko, I've been playing around with him a lot, so I know this game kind of surprising. We went with the forehand, but he said it was because of the wind. He was hoping the wind will carry it, and we can see it's really close to the catch cam guys, and they're going to be the furthest from the pin. Here I know the plan was with Jüri to throw in front of the hill to have a close layup, but didn't manage to do it. So now Asko is a little bit in kind of situation where he needs to play safe but also try to do something. And yeah, it overturned too much in that point where you can see the flag on the basket that it was headwind and turned the disc over. And Kristo, yeah, you can see nice height, and I think it stayed on the hill, so it was a good effort. Gives Rasmus a good chance to try to get it closer, or even maybe draw in. You never know. Yeah, here we can see it was a little bit lower, but it looks like it's a little bit closer. at least in the circle, so then we'll have options to choose which one is the best one. And silver. So yeah, it also hit the hill, rolled a little bit down, but I don't think it wasn't too much. And Martin. I'm also going to pronounce the names like they are in my language. So if it sounds weird, don't feel weird about it. You can comment about it and let me know if it's the correct way or not. I don't know. But here, this is going to give us time to talk about that. The third round is about best shot. The first round was alternate, and I think the second round was tough shot. So the scores are pretty low after 2 courses. The first round was also played on the same course, and the second round was played in Järta, which is like not that far away, just small car ride. And we already can see Asko getting ready for his layup. Interesting to see which one is... okay, we see Jüri checking his lie and seeing that there's nothing to choose from that angle. And this is the difficult part of this hole. You just have to land on front side of this opening. Because the other sides don't give you that many options of approach. And seems like Jüri is going first. So most likely just going to make a layup to give Asko a chance to try to put it in. Actually that it looked like a run. He doesn't seem to be too happy about it. And we're going to see now Asko try. It's at least closer, so it's going to be the tap-in par for them. And for birdie, Kristo and Rasmus first. And it's in. That was nice. With this kind of steep angle, yeah, waves are welcomed in this kind of situation because the angle is very steep. And silver, it seems like it's almost the same spot actually, so also in. So the 2 leading couples are having a really nice start to the game and tap in for our third couple. And we move on to the second hole, which is 100 meters, and it's really straightforward. It has a mandatory very close where this view started from. You have to go from the right side and you can see the circle from this view, and it's just 100 meters, so it will give many players the feel that you can make it, but you have to keep in mind the Mando as well. And I've seen we can play tricks on you. And also Rasmus is not missing the Mando, but missing the gap. That this didn't turn over. That was probably the plan. And Kristo has to make it better now. And also it seems like it took the same angle as Rasmus and ended almost in the same spot, so most likely they're going to choose the disc which is more outside or closer to the outside of the woods. And also you probably can smell some blood, and oh, this looks nice. And oh, what an awful skip, but really nice throw. And also the teammates is thinking so. So what's the plan now? Because from this angle they don't know how deep in the woods it went. Okay, yeah, it turned over, and It looks... Oh, that was really close. Almost a draw-in. All in one here would have changed the game so much. So what is Jüri going to do now? Looks like the same issue as in hole 1, turned too much over, and also from this couple I know that Jüri is more like a forehand player and Asko considers himself more a backhand player, but to be honest I think this summer he got so much better with his forehand, so we'll see how it's going. Okay, nice layup from Rasmus. So from this spot, actually, your teammate should be running it because the first disc is already under the basket. So why not try? You never know. It looks like an angle, but it's too high, and it's in the woods. So most likely they're going to choose Rasmus's disc. So really too high. From the get-go it seems any of the players are aiming too high. From this flag we can see the wind is not playing too much, almost no wind here, but so okay, that was too low. So if you put them together it would have been a really nice putt, but it didn't happen this time around, so they still have to wait for the birdie. Okay, that was Martin. He missed it. So now it's Silver's turn to take this birdie and take one stroke back from the leaders. And now we can see some wind as well. Maybe. Yeah, we can see he's hesitating a little bit. Oh, and he missed it. Yeah. That's most likely a little bit disappointing. It was a chance. Okay, you can throw like this. A little bit misunderstanding. They actually seem to be in the same distance, so it wouldn't make no difference. So par all around, and we can move on. Still the same caps, 2 strokes between everybody. So hole number 3 is 138 meters and it has 2 hills. You have to cross this first hill, and from here you can see it's really difficult to see where to land the disc, so it's really difficult basket, but I'm seeing from the statistics that it was the 9th easiest, so it's quite in the middle actually. And there's OB on the left side because there's a little creek on the left, so you don't want to throw your disc there. Okay. Oh, this looks nice, but a bad kick from the tree and it goes to the left, so it would have been so much better, but they don't know actually that, because you can see from this angle you can't see anything. They just know it's safe, and so Rasmus tried to blast one. Actually went too high, hit the branches, and it went back and went OB actually. No, I don't think so. I think it went OB, and they're going to choose Kristo's throw, obviously. So we're going to see a forehand option which looks a little bit more safe than the backhand, away from the OB, but it went to the woods, so it's not good enough. Just have to get over the... So there was a misunderstanding between the spotter and the players. He wanted to know if it's in the woods or not, and the spotter told him it's safe. So he was a little bit confused by that. And yeah, Martin's throw was, let's say, I didn't expect it to be so bad, but it was. It happens to the best of us. And we can see, oh, that was lucky. It kicked back from the trees, from an obvious OB. So it's in the fairway and actually almost on top of the first hill, so it's really safe to draw for Asko now. Just +1 and turned it over too much, it went to the woods. So at least they have a safe draw from the middle to choose from. And here we can see Martin collecting his disc. Obviously they're not going to choose this throw. And we move on to Jüri. And that went a little bit short, but I already told you guys that Jüri is a more forehand player, but from these two throws, I would not say that, but with all fairness, I have to point out that he's nurturing a little injury, so it was a little bit hard for him, but considering that he was playing well, but thankfully Asko brought his A game and bullseye hit from that distance, and that looks like an easy birdie. So our second pair is in the woods, so they have a really bad angle. You can see how he's holding his body, and this gets a little bit lost, but I think it went so fast to the right side to the woods that even our catch cam didn't manage to catch it, because catch cam is a little bit behind the hill a little bit, and maybe Martin can get a better result. Ooh, what a skip, but lucky bounce in the end, and it's in the bullseye almost. So continue with our first pair, and a really nice layup, I would say. Just making sure that close enough so that Rasmus can actually run it, but that wasn't a run, it just got a little bit closer. So Kristo is first to putt, and really nicely done. Okay, you can see Silva was already far away, didn't expect it, but it's the ping package team now. Yes, the gap is still 2 strokes. And here we can see Asko tapping in. That's really nice throw. And we have a star frame, or birdie frame, however you want to call it in a couples game. And we are moving on to hole number 4, 176 meters. We're going to start up from the small hill. This is the ideal landing spot for your first throw. It will give you enough angle to try to hit this, because the basket is a little bit away from the fairway and guarded by so many trees that you have to go high and just try to make it. So this looked actually really nice, and it should be very close to the ideal spots because of the height and the wind we were having on that day. This is actually a really hard throw. And starts to turn, but hit some branches and also kick to the right side. This will give a forehand approach to the basket. And let's see our second pair going to manage this. So we can see from the branches the wind is actually very strong. In statistics, this hole played 3.6 in average, which was the 8th easiest hole. So we have 2 average holes in a row right now. So you want to get birdies from those ones if you want to play for any kind of medal. Oh, this is really nice. Actually, really nice and perfect landing spot. So we can see Jüri opting back to his forehand. And I think it went too high. Yep, but the branches give it back, at least it's on the fairway. So it will give Asko a chance to try to blast one. Because if it goes to the woods, they will still have a fairway option. And it's just too low and overturned. Obviously the wind is playing its parts as well. So they actually opted for Jüri's throw. And here you can see, and it went really high. Kicked some branches, we can see the leaves falling. It was coming from the disc. And again, a very safe throw, so it will give Asko an option to make a little bit of risky throw. So he tried to go inside. Later he said that was not the plan, it just went too early inside. And again, they have an option to choose from. And here we can see why Kristo is considered more a forehand player. That was really nicely done. You can see the teammates being happy about it. And yeah, also really nice move from Rasmus, but it went just too wide, and obviously going to choose the first throw. And basically from the similar spots, and it looks from the first 4 holes that the 2 leading doubles are going head to head, which is always nice to see. And also it looks good enough. I think it got the kick towards the basket. He's trying to get it closer, and I honestly can't remember if it was closer or not. This basket is so hidden from the fairway that the cameraman was able to get a good spot, but that is the reason why it makes so fun. Really nice throw from Jüri, really safe, and got away from some trees and branches, so it should be close enough. So Asko is trying a different route, and look, actually it got closer. So here where is our second couple or pair or double, or you ever wanna say, and a birdie. So they have 2 birdies in a row now. Oh, this is where Kristo's throw ended up. It looks really easy, and that's true. 2-stroke lead is still there, and I'm going to move on to hole number 5. And you can see the wind is actually not that bad, and we have OB everywhere on this par 4, and 178 meters. It's a lot of ground to cover, and the basket is on top of this small hill. And like you can see, this hill is also very steep. Rollerways are really easy to come, but from this angle we can see the wind is actually even worse than it was in the previous shot. And he tried to go safe with this one. It drifted a little bit to the left, but it was still safe. So it gave Rasmus a chance to read the throw, and that they discussed a little bit. And we can see making some adjustments, and that actually looks really nice. Almost on a perfect landing spot. This is where you want to end up with your first throw on this hole. And maybe this is too high with too much angle, and it lands between those trees somewhere. So the wind took it down a little bit. So Silver has to be making a little bit better. And it looks again too much angle. And I don't remember if it was safe or not, but I think they chose the first throw anyway. And yeah, Jüri with his backhand, that looks really nice, really safe play, and gives again Asko an option to blast with all his might. Too much turnover, but I think it rolled a little bit from that angle it was landing, and I can skip ahead a little bit. It was safe. And here we can see our second couple throwing their approach shot. That was a little bit short, but luckily not OB. But they didn't know from this angle. They thought it was landed in the OB with a skip. So, and that got a hit from a tree and landed really nicely on this edge of the circle. So this is where Asko's throw landed, and so yeah, Asko showed where to throw the disc, and Jüri is executing perfectly, and also a perfect landing, and it's in the bullseye. This will give an option to Asko to also run again. This looks really nice, but it hit the tree and also landed in the circle, but Jüri's throw is obviously a little bit closer. But nice try anyway. So our two leaders, this is what they have. And that one, I think it landed on the hill somewhere. And this gave an option to Rasmus to try something different, maybe, and it didn't work. So we already in putting green, and we're going to start with Silver and Martin. And oh, nice. Well done. We have a replay with a different angle. It was a little bit too high, but it counts. So it's in. It's really, with these windy conditions, really good putts. Really well done. Really well birdie, and all the applause to him. So two leaders, they need to get this, but it chained out. So maybe the win and the previous really amazing putt was playing its parts. So we can see his teammate Rasmus stepping up. So he has to make it now, and he doesn't make any mistakes. So we have again 2 strokes difference, and we're going to have a birdie frame again, because let's be honest, he's not going to miss this one. That was easy. So we're going to move on to hole number 6, which was a little bit changed for this event. The basket used to be a little bit higher on the hill, not too much, but enough, so it gave people some more different options to throw than they were used to. And we can see, yeah, he tried to go his useful way where he used to throw the disc, but the wind didn't like it and pushed it to the right side. So the catch camera didn't catch it. And now Rasmus has to execute, otherwise they're going to be in danger. Because this hole number 6 played by average actually 2.9, which means that it was the second hardest hole of this day. So getting a par from this is actually good enough. So we have our chasing boys, and this one actually looks really nice, and landed beneath the basket and drifted a little bit behind the trees, but it doesn't give him any bad angles, so a birdie looks really comfortable from there. And Martin, what is he going to do? It looks too much wide, and it kicked the tree and fell down before the hill actually. And Jüri landed somewhere on the right side, didn't come back. And this actually, I think it's the first time where Asko is actually on the spot right now, where he has to execute, because Jüri's throw actually wasn't on the fairway. But he does execute really nice. We can see that this Tristan birds fell down too early, so they're a little bit outside the circle, I think. So it gives a chance to run it like this, but the idea was that Jüri will put it under the basket and Asko will run it. They're actually lucky enough that this didn't roll down the hill from there. So it gave a chance for this kind of look. Actually we can see one branch just the right spot in front of the basket, so they didn't make it. And yeah, from this couples we can expect one throwing under the basket, and let's see what Rasmus does. And he throws it in. What a draw. High fives are needed from this. Really nicely done, guys. And we can see actually Silva and Martin, easy birdie. Well done solo birdie for Silva, but birdie result for the both of them. And yeah, we're going to move on to hole number 7, par 3. From top of this hill you have to slide it down, aiming maybe that pole, and let the disc fade on this beautiful green. Actually it looks really open, really nice. You just have to hit the right gap with the right angle, but don't forget it's still really windy, so you can see it looks a little bit too high. And it faded too early, so it's just behind the wall of those trees. And what is Rasmus going to do? He needs to make it better now, because we already have seen that Silva and Martin are really good forehand players, and this hole plays really well for forehand throwers. Is it high enough? And it bounces from the branches and actually lands on the edge of the circle. Really nicely done. And I believe the branches actually helped on this case. Otherwise maybe it would have drifted too far away. And let's see what those guys are doing. And with the lower route, and let's be honest, that actually looked perfect. You can't ask for much more. It seems like Silva is actually giving pointers where to aim. So let's see what Martin does. A little bit wider. You can see the disc coming, falling, and it went actually over the circle. So maybe he was trying to run it. So Jüri's throw, and that actually went a little bit bad for his stuff, and we actually couldn't find it. Believe it or not, the disc was lost. I don't know if it's still there, but it got a weird bounce and we just couldn't find it anymore. So with that said, we already know that this one is going to be better. So really nice landing stick there, and we'll give them a circle putt. So we're going to start off with Kristo and Rasmus. That was too low, So Rasmus has to make it to keep their lead because they can see Silver and Martin Disc just in front of us, in the middle, between them and basket. But Rasmus doesn't care, says thank you for the birdie, and we move on. And yes, applause and waves are needed. Well done. So a little bit inside of the circle, we have Asko and Jüri putting on this basket, and it was the 7th easiest basket actually on the day, playing by average 2.5, which is in a best shot doubles expected, and they both missed it, so probably they would like to have that one back. But we can see the wind is also playing around with the flag a little bit. And Silver doesn't make any mistakes. No second putt needed. And let's go. We're going to move on. And we actually can see a score separation between the two leaders. As we see hole number 8, it was told to me that this is one of the easiest par 4s on the course, because just throw outside from the first gap, and if you hit it really nice in the middle, then you have just a little small approach to the basket. But you can see the fairway is nice and clean, but you don't want to go off the fairway. And this one actually looks nice, and yes, it hits the middle of the fairway, so it's a perfect spot. I remember Asko saying that it was actually a perfect throw. This is where you want to be in your best shot. So gives us Rasmus a chance to try something, but it was just too low. Made it out. In a bad day, that would have been also a good throw, but still made an amazing shot. So here we have Silva hitting a tree. So now Martin is in a spot quite literally, so he's opting for the forehand to hit the cap first hand. Let's see from there. He hits it really nice. Well, okay. I think maybe it hit the camel guy, but I'm not sure. Maybe it jumped away just enough. And you can see Jüri actually, wow. That actually went further than Kristo's throw, but it went to the bushes. This is not where you want to go on this course, because the trees are small but punishing. So I'm not sure if Asko knows about it, but it doesn't matter, it's the first available, and they're going to have to choose Jüri's throw anyway. And here we can see Martin going over the top. Where is it landing? Oh, it landed there. You can see the little blue spot, that was the disc. So here we can see Silver changing a little bit his mind. The wind is playing. If you go above the trees, you have to consider the wind, and it goes a little bit differently, but still in between trees. It should give them actually an angle, and here you can see why we're saying that Kristo's throw was so amazing. Just small little upshot. Wow, this is carrying really nice, almost, but it's in the circle. And I remember him being like confused a little bit. It wasn't meant like this. He wanted to make a little layup, but the wind just carried the disc, and why not carry it all the way around and end up in the basket, but not this time. So we have Rasmus making some adjustments. Already know that they didn't plan to make it in, they just wanted to get close because they saw Silva and Martin being in small trouble. So they want to put maybe some pressure on, but if you can see Jüri going up and high and landing actually really nicely really close to the basket. And here Jüri was just saying, just go that way and see what happens. But Asko is trying, maybe the over the head draw is not his strong suit, but Jüri, you were all able to see that he was playing it really nicely. And that was also good, close to Martin's first throw, but Jüri's throw is obviously better. Here we can see, actually it looks clean enough, but too high, but stay close. And now Martin, he tried to run it really strong, but again too high. So again, they're furthest from the pin and they have to do it again. At least this time around they can stand up. That was too low. Just collecting his front disc and changing this there for some reason. I'm not sure why. Actually, it doesn't matter. You can actually see for door guy it's kind of harder. Also too low. Wow. You can see a little bit frustration for this bogey, the first bogey of this coverage, and they are just 11 down now. So Asko is trying to get this birdie and it's in. It was wobbling a little bit and really that was unexpected. So here we can see Rasmus teaching a little bit. You need to make those putts, concentrate, and let's see. He makes it. It would have been bad after this gesture not to make it, but now they have 4 strokes lead and they're looking really comfortable now. And we go to hole number 9 where we have a triple mandatory. You can see from this side the second goal actually doesn't play as a mando. You just have to pass this first one from the inside. And that's way too low. Rasmus seems happy, but Kristo wasn't happy at all. Rasmus probably was just happy because it was safe. And yeah, that was also somewhere in the middle of the field. And Jüri making this shot. The second goal, wow, and amazing. And it's almost in the bullseye. So that you have to take it this one, because let's be honest, can you throw any better? And I know that Asko actually wanted to just go through both of the goals, but you can see it didn't go. But they were already happy with the first throw, since hole number 9 played 14th easiest, so 5th hardest, I think. One of the hardest holes of the course, so especially with these winds, you can see from the flag from here, but the forehand boys, we can call them now, because everybody else went with the backhand. This actually looks nice as well, but not much skips, so they have an option what to do next. So here, Kristo, they were discussing it. I remember, just put it close to give Rasmus a chance to try to hit it. And he actually told the camera guy in the back that he should also move and change his position to where he is now. And perfect line, but not so perfect height to this one. So here we are with Silva and Martin. Martin trying first, just outside the circle. So they didn't put any marker just to stay outside the circle so they can probably jump it. Yes, here we are step putts, but too high. So they know they have a chance now to get one back. This is what they need. He's taking his time. We can see actually from the flag the wind is changing directions, so it's not a comfortable distance. And too low, you can see he's not happy. You can see Jüri is happy. Solo birdie on this. This hole has to be feeling amazing. And birdie it is, really nicely done. So they're just 2 strokes back from Silver and Martin. Now we can see those guys cleaning up their pass. Yeah, that's it. And that was for the front 9. Here you can see the standings after the first 9 baskets. Like you can see the leaders are 4 strokes ahead, but behind them we can see up to 5th place. It's really close. So stay around and watch the back 9 as well. Thank you for watching. I am Tarvo and see you on the back 9.